Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do a quick episode of just two crowns today. We're going to do a lower molar, and then we'll do a single upper molar too. So let's just dive right in. We can see how I go about designing my lower molars and upper molars. Use the insertion direction of the contacts over here, so you can get a nice broad contact when you're doing the disc. It's just a simple little step that can speed things up. One of the biggest things with first lower molars, you're not always necessarily going to want to put a 3-cusp buckle in there. So we'll start off with one, and then if it doesn't fit, doesn't look right, very easy to go ahead and change it to a second lower molar. So first, let's see how it stuffs up in there, how it looks. This one. So yeah, that looks fits in there pretty well. So we'll keep that there. Another thing I'm looking for, I like to stuff them up in there on the initial adaptation. Another thing I like to do is use the freeform. Go in expert mode, and then you can just drag the crown over here. Just gives it a nicer adaptation. There's less freeforming that you need to change up. You always kind of want to design your crowns to fit right on the margin, so that there's less freeforming to do and less chance of under contouring a crown. Okay, now let's go ahead and we'll just adapt it. And I always kind of stuff, like contact looks pretty terrible. So we can kind of fix this up right here. A lot of things I like to take away the jaw scan, so I can kind of look down the line, make sure that I'm not over contour or under contouring the crowns. Don't be afraid to design without any models around. You can kind of, once you get the hang of it, you kind of know where everything is. Oop. Let's get that. And lastly, we can check our contours. Still sticking out there a little bit too much. Marginal ridges, let's make sure that they're even. Nice contact, stuff that up in there. We can kind of get this contact over here. There we go, the contact is in over there. Okay, let's check these lingual cusp tips. Let's drop that down a little bit. And now let's check the central fossa. You can raise that up using the cusp tip tool and grabbing it right in the middle. We kind of raise this up, and that's fine right there. Lastly, let's kind of fill this bad boy in a little bit. Smooth. Oops, wrong button. Smooth that up. Alright. Now we got our start. Let's go ahead and we'll cut. Always do 0.1. Get our wear facets. We'll go and check the articulator. If you guys are wondering, I use the Space Mouse 3D connection mouse. For my cases, I highly recommend it. It would be much more efficient at designing your crowns. It just makes everything move around much faster, much quicker, having two hands versus one. Okay, now we got our movements joints in place. Okay, let's check. We'll go ahead and cut it again, and then we'll go over to static, drop it down out of occlusion. Not really a big fan of this little hump right here. Let's lower this, just doesn't look right to me. Last thing we can do is I use the cylinder. The cylinder is, it will only smooth what's inside the cylinder versus the paintbrush will kind of smooth more in the middle and then less as you're outside of it. So I like to use a cylinder for that. Okay, now we can go ahead and cut our contacts. Cut. We use our disc cutter to get rid of any undercuts. Here. Take that off. We'll turn on our contact so we can see what we're cutting. We can kind of adjust this a little bit. Okay. Over here. Now we'll cut. Okay, and lastly, we'll come up here, we'll make sure there's no sharp edges where we just cut at. If there is, just kind of smooth it out just a little bit, just to make it nice and neat. Okay, last thing I want to do is get this bifurcation lined up properly. You can use the ridge, sometimes that will work, or you can just use the brush, and then just kind of smooth it all out, blend it in. And that's the lower molar done. Go ahead next and get out of here. Should have brought up the other case already, but you guys can just fast forward until I go ahead and load this one in. While we're waiting on this to load, is there anything else you guys want to see that I can start planning for? Anything else you guys are having problems with? Little glitches or just quick fixes that you guys want to know how to do? I can certainly try and help with that out too. Another thing I like to do before I get started is let's check to make sure that everything's occluding well. It's not, this is a pretty crappy impression. Everything's in there pretty well, but just to be safe, to make sure that it's not going to be too high, we'll drop these down a little bit, make sure I have it, just because these crowns are distorted, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. So we'll use that. Now we'll go ahead and do the margin, and we can kind of get over here, double check everything, make sure we're good to go. Let's go around the horn, all right. Get those contacts. So we don't want to like slant it like this, or like this. We kind of want to check out these contacts, and then also the prep, and kind of figure out which one's the best for all three of those points of interest. Okay, we will go ahead and move forward, get our crown. If you guys, on single crowns, if you ever want to just change, I forgot to show you, but on the first lower molar, if you want to change to the second molar, just go to your expert mode, right click on the tooth, custom tooth model, and then you can just click on crown, and then it'll change that tooth. We're going to use this one. It's one I've been using recently quite a bit. So let's line this up, way up and high. Okay. And I'm just looking to, it's okay to over contour these in the beginning because it's easy. It's better to stretch them out than to have to make them smaller. Okay, let's check this. Cusp tips, we'll adjust that. Okay, move forward. Add this over here. I guess I should probably do contacts first. Let's stretch this. Okay, that's good there. Let's go over here, stretch that out, and then we'll go do cusp tips. This is the order you should go in. Okay, let's drop this down. Okay, we can add a little bit here. One of the big things you guys should just learn your library and how everything pushes and pulls. It'll speed you up quite a bit. Okay, again, another thing that I like to do is to drop this down using the cusp tip tool. You can use the ridge to drop this down a little bit. Let's make sure these cusp tips nice and even. Looks like he's been wearing out this cusp tip over here, so we don't want to make these too tall, and we definitely want to make sure that we use the articulator on this case. Otherwise he's just going to knock off that cusp tip like he did on that other one. Okay, there's our start. Let's go ahead and cut. Alright, articulator. Line it up. Holding down the control key. To look every single time. I always forget which one it is. I just know by muscle memory which one it is. Okay, goes right there. Alright. Cut. Go ahead. Alright, it's nice movement. Okay. Check. Alright, nothing's really hidden. Let's adjust this bifurcation over here. Alright. Go ahead and smooth everything back up. Nice blended in. Good, good, good. Okay, now I'm happy with my contours. Could bring it down a little bit further. Let's see if it's in it. Yep. Alright, we want our cusp tips to line up. And we're a little bulky here on the buckle, so we can roll this bad boy in a little bit. Angle looks good. Okay, and so we're hitting there. Let's cut one more time. Alright, now we're cut. Let's do contacts. Oh, sorry. Drop it down at it. If you do contacts first and then drop it down at occlusion, your contacts are going to change because your whole crown's moving. So you always do contacts last. That's why sometimes you might get really heavy contacts and not know why. It's because when you do drop it down, it'll shift the crown mesial distal just slightly based on your insertion direction. So just be careful about doing that. Did I drop it? Okay, let's drop it down. I always do static. If you do dynamic, sometimes it'll like drop it twice. Once it'll drop it with the protrusion or lateral protrusion movement, and then it'll drop it with the occlusion itself. So that's why I always just do it static. I don't want it dropping down twice. See if you can kind of see it. Just take a watch. I didn't really do it, but you can kind of see the screen flash a little bit that time. That's it calculating a second time. Oh, contact. Good there. Good here. Just nice little paint job. Cut. Okay, so now we want to use the disc to remove that undercut right there. Let's turn on the contact area. Okay, we can cut, then we can angle it a little bit more. Get any of that contact underneath. Okay, and then sometimes when you cut it, it'll actually add contact. So I'll just go ahead and cut it one more time. It's probably unnecessary, but I do it anyways, so there you can see. Lastly, we'll go ahead and add some more anatomy back in. Nothing too fancy, just fixing some from the getting cut. There you go, and there's my upper molar. Not too bad, quick and easy. Again, you really appreciate if you like the video, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Helps move up YouTube's watch list, and I'll keep uploading these videos for you guys. Have a great day.